Even MAGA is disappointed in Patel's performance as director. I guess they finally realized that we've basically got a puppet government in place, a puppet government that, yes, they voted for and supported, but puppet governments are only okay when there are no real problems for that government to fix or address. And just to be clear, that's never the case. So puppet governments are never okay. But when direct threats against our nation are now more acute than they have been in decades, people are starting to feel vulnerable. And they're starting to understand why we used to have certain people in certain positions. And they're starting to feel the effects of both Doge and Trump's loyalty program on the American people.
How many days before we invaded Iran did you know we were going to launch an invasion?
We can get into those details in a classified setting, but I work with my colleagues across the spectrum here to give me advance warning so that we can reinforce.
Was it 2 days, 3 days, a month?
It was sometime before that, sir.
Sometime before that. So you had done. With that knowledge, why did you fire at least a dozen agents in Counterintelligence Unit 12 that specializes in Iran counterintelligence, which makes us much less secure and safe with this war going on from Iranian attacks potentially against our country?
As I said earlier, Congressman, I don't work on timelines when these terminations occur. There are internal investigations conducted by the careers at the FBI that highlight unethical or inappropriate conduct, and it's up to me to make the decision. But our Iran Threats Mission Center has never been more resourced, as I've highlighted a 43% increase in counter-espionage arrests from Iran alone and 360 ongoing terrorism investigations with Iran-affiliated individuals.
And the people you fired, those 12 people, they were experts on Iran, were they not?
I don't believe so.
They worked in counterintelligence, did they not?
I'm taking you at your word, sir. I'm not familiar with every
You're the
single
chief
word.
director. I'm not. You should know the answer. You fired the people. Where did they work?
People were terminated for violating their ethical obligations and the high standards.
Was the ethical violations that they dealt with the case of the classified documents that were found in the bathroom in Mar-a-Lago, was that the ethical issue?
As I said earlier, all those matters are pending litigation, so I'm not going to comment on them.
The day Trump launched his attack on Iran, Patel said that his intelligence and counterintelligence teams had been placed on high alert. And that's good, I suppose, but if I was the FBI director, I would have probably done so much sooner than the day of the attack. If the American people and the rest of the world knew the attack was imminent long before it happened, I would assume our enemies and also Kash Patel would also have had access to that information, but I guess better late than never. But from what we know, in the 2 weeks or so since the US attacked Iran, there have been at least 4 suspected terrorist incidents. One FBI insider told Miranda Devine, a pro-Trump podcaster and columnist with the New York Post, that the Bureau desperately needs to look at what flagging systems were in place and active, as well as what kinds of potential investigative, watch listing, screening, and threats monitoring activities were required. The FBI should be directly questioned on these matters on their prior knowledge and actionable actions. If not, then this violence will continue to happen and intensify. The Daily Beast reports that other FBI veterans questioned the effectiveness of the FBI under Patel's leadership, with one asking if the agents, quote, were actually aware and engaged on any level, even in the current elevated threat environment. Another said that Patel was too distracted with things that should have been a lower priority for the FBI director, like immigration and the Epstein files. It's a zero-sum situation, they said. When people are being redirected away from their primary national security duties, some things are bound to be missed. And I can't speak for this person, and I don't know where they're coming from, but I don't read the comment as saying that things like immigration and the Epstein files are not important, just that those things are things that someone else should be focused on. Even the Epstein files are important and should be addressed, but the FBI director should probably prioritize national security and counterterrorism over the files. If the files were anything that Patel actually cared about, he could delegate.